Hey, welcome back to the channel. For those who are new, my name is Maurice Jr. And what we do here in Inspire to Cultivate is I make content to strive to change individuals, families, and communities in meaningful and positive ways. Here on the channel, you will find something that piques your interest centered around success stories or financial literacy. Today, we actually have our first couple today. Thank you for you guys' time here. We actually have Caprice and Tasha. Uh, well, I'll let them introduce themselves, the formal names and last names and different things of that nature. So we'll dive into it. Caprice, tell us a little about yourself. Give us the
Okay,
government name if you would like. We'll go from there.
yeah, no worries. Like you mentioned before, my name is Carprece Revis. I was born in North Carolina, born and raised in North Carolina. Moved up to Maryland after I got my bachelor's degree in computer science, and then moved up to Maryland, got my master's degree in computer science from Johns Hopkins University, where I met this lovely lady right here, where we worked together for DOD. Got married like 7 years ago, and it's been great ever since.
Nice, nice. Go ahead,
You know,
Tasha. I'm sorry.
oh, no worries, no worries, no worries. I'm Tasha Revis. Actually, I'm from Ohio. Moved to in Maryland for an internship, and then been an engineer since 2009 or so. Got a bachelor's degree in computer science. Got a master's degree in computer science. And got to meet this guy here. Pretty cool times. And then yeah, then traveled all over the world, got to see different cultures and everything. Currently in the process of building our company up more, Cyber Solutions, LLC. Yeah, yeah.
No, that was a very good introduction. Couple things here that stood out was about five things that stood out here. So first thing was you guys majoring in computer science, and not only majoring in computer science, you guys took that next level and went to obtain a master's degree in those respective fields as well. What prompted that? What made you interested in computer science initially?
So back when I was a kid, I've always had a liking for computers,
Okay.
and I had a liking so much. I didn't want to know like just how applications work, like in Microsoft Word and Internet Explorer.
Hmm.
How do people build those?
Hmm.
And every time I would ask my teachers in high school that, they would just flat out tell me they simply don't know. But
Really?
yeah, yeah, that's true. So okay, I'm like, all right. So where do I go to find out? Okay, you need to go to college. Okay, I'll go to college. What should I major in?
Hmm.
Maybe computer science or maybe software design, right?
Hmm.
So when I went to school at East Carolina University, that's where I got my bachelor's degree from in computer science. That's when the journey started, when I got to learn, like, through taking classes, how software is built through like applications, websites, and it's been like pretty great after that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what was the name of the university?
East Carolina University.
Ah, okay, okay. The East Carolina program in computer science. Well, let me retract that. When it comes to the university in general, is was that like your first choice as it relates to that major? So I'll give you something here. Central State University was not known for their computer science program. And it wasn't like something where I'm like, okay, what are the top 10 universities in computer science? What made you say, hey, I want to go to ECU?
Honestly, it was not my first choice.
Really?
No, it wasn't. My first choice was actually NC State University in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Ah,
Too far from home. Family could easily come see me. And, growing up, in the state of North Carolina, that's what NC State was known for, was their
ah,
engineering and computer science program.
okay.
So come to find out, I applied for the schools. I applied for three schools: NC State, A&T, and East Carolina.
Hmm.
A&T was actually was my third choice, which I'll admit it definitely should have been my first. Looking back in hindsight,
Yeah.
HBCU in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But so NC State was my first choice, and I applied to all 3 schools, and I got accepted immediately at A&T. ECU gave me an acceptance letter probably about a couple of weeks later. But
Mm-hmm.
then when it came to NC State, they just took like forever, and I was waiting on them to say, "Hey, you're in." So maybe about a good like 5 or 6 months later, they finally came back and accepted me under one condition. And that condition was I had to go to a program every night from 7 to 9 o'clock called the transition program because my grades and my SAT score wasn't up to their standards. Even though I had a 3.0 grade 1 average in high school, my SAT score, I mean, it wasn't so great. I think I may have got like a 900. It was something crazy, right?
Absolutely.
But because of that, I had to go to this transition program, or they wanted me to go to this transition program from 7 to 9 every Monday through Thursday, where I'm talking to these upperclassmen about things that I'm struggling in.
Oh, okay.
And to make a long story short, my parents, we talked to the guy who was an African-American brother who was over this transition program. And one of the things he said, it actually struck me. He said, one thing about us African-Americans, you can get us in a gym playing basketball or shooting a hoop or throwing a football, but you can never get us in the classroom. And that quote right there, it just struck a chord with me because he may have been right. I'm not sure. But I know growing up, all I saw was it seemed like a lot of the black folks will be playing sports, in the media, rapping and whatnot, on TV. And it seemed like, all the other, like, that are people that are non-African American would be doing like the STEM majors, like doing mathematics, software engineering, developing websites, creating social media. So I'm like, okay, I want to thank that man for that because now, not only I'm not going to NC State, because I took it personally. They think I'm stupid. I'm like, you know what? East Carolina, let's go.
Okay, nice. Whoa, man. I was thinking you went to ECU because it was like your top 10 university or something of that nature. Like they majored in computer science or something of that nature. That's what I was thinking. He was like, whoa, I had 3 schools. That was not it. That was,
It was just my second choice, and it was one of those things. And that was another thing about ECU I wanted to go to as well. It seemed like everybody I knew in my high school, they were either going to A&T or even NC State, believe it or not, for different majors other than computer science. But I didn't know anybody else that was going to ECU, so I'm like, okay, NC State's not going to work out. So in addition to ECU, my second choice, I could go somewhere where I'm not with, the influences from my high school. I could just start the slate clean. It's just me by myself. And I can kind of like, go from there.
Absolutely. Great call out. How you actually got involved in computer science. That's a great call out. Tasha, before you dive into it, I do want to say this. My initial exposure came from my mother. My mother bought a compact Presario for Christmas. And I was kind of like the person who actually took care of it and maintenance it and different things of that nature. So that's what got me inspired or intrigued about computers in general. It wasn't until I actually went to high school and found out that we had a vocational school, information technology, and so that kind of cultivated it there. And of course, when I graduated, I was already like passionate and everything. I said computer science is the way. And my first choice wasn't Central State University. I only knew 3 universities outside of our area, which was the University of Toledo, Kent State University, and the University of Akron. It wasn't like we had like superior. Well, shout out to our counselors who was only just trying to get us across the finish line. They were just trying to make sure we graduate. I don't remember having those high level conversations around the, colleges, the expense of like how much it costs to go to college, different things of that nature. I don't remember having those high level conversations. So I ended up going to Central State. But it's not about me. I digress a little bit here. Tasha, tell us a little bit about your experience, how you got involved with computer science initially. Was it an early age? Was it something where you just graduated and was like, I'm going to do something in STEM, very similar to what Carprece was saying. I just want to major in something in STEM. Like, tell me a little about your experience.
Yeah, my story, it started from actually I wanted to, I don't know why, but I always wanted to go to the FBI when I was younger, because you see the different shows and stuff, and you see the FBI agents, they always look cool.
Yeah.
So at first I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna major in criminal justice, because I thought, FBI, criminal justice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I talked to a retired FBI agent, and he told me, like, you might want to not be too specialized in criminal justice, just in case you don't go to the FBI, and you will have like more options. So that kind of made me sit back and think. And then I thought about it, like, I shouldn't major in criminal justice anyway, because I will always see the shows, the criminals, they actually shot back. But you always see like, yeah, but I'm like, yeah, I don't want to get shot at, and I don't want to chase anyone. So
right.
I need to take a different approach, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, and then that's when I started seeing the other people that work for the FBI, the nerdy computer person, behind the desk catching criminals. And so that's what originally got me into computer science. And then I didn't know too much about computers initially. I thought like, oh, okay, yeah, you just turn it on and off or whatever. And so, but once I got to college, it was a totally different story. And that's another, same thing with me. Central State, it wasn't my first choice. I actually got accepted into 12 schools with,
Really?
I don't know how. I had the good grades, but yeah, ACT, SAT scores. Yeah, maybe you get credit for writing your name. That's and so once I got there, it started seeing the I backtrack. I was actually going to go to I ended up narrowing it down to Tennessee State University, and they were going to have me coming into their summer program and everything. But I ended up making a last minute decision because I don't know, I just wanted to stay closer to home at the time to choose Central State. And Central State, they had actually gave me a scholarship. It was like $4,000 or so per year or per semester, something like that. And so that was like an easy sale, and ended up going to Central State. And yeah, best decision I ever made in my life.
Absolutely. No, great call out. And I had the same experience. The reason why I ended up going to Central State is because they gave me the most money. They pretty much gave me a full ride. Whereas the other university, they was like, no grants, no nothing, all loans. And my mom looking at me, I'm looking back at my mom like, okay, we know what the choice is.
Right. Right. And you ended up paying like dividends, because it's like, now that we're out of school, we really didn't graduate with that much student loan debt. No. And then we're working next to people that went to like your Carnegie Mellons or I think I had met someone that, I know I met someone that graduated from MIT and Harvard and all that stuff. We're working right next to them, doing the same jobs, getting paid the same amount of money. The only difference is you got people that's graduating with $60,000, $100,000, in student loan debt, just to sit next to us who barely had student loan debt.
Absolutely. Great call out. Let me ask you this. Will both of you guys working for the DOD, do they get rid of your student loans once you become like an employee of the government? Do they get rid of them? Like, is it like a special program that they have? Like, how did you guys get rid of your debt?
Ooh,
I can go first. So the answer to that, my experience, no, they don't. But hey, I'm being honest, right?
Yeah.
But so with me, I actually was paying off my student loan debts right after I graduated, because I had a job, right after college, and I was blessed enough to actually have a job after college working for the DOD.
Nice.
So what I would do is I would put like X amount of dollars a month. It'd be like $200 a month, and then as I was doing that, the debt was going down, and maybe about probably about 4 years later, I had the opportunity to travel or to move overseas to the UK to do some work there. And the beautiful thing about that was they paid for your housing and your utilities. So
Whoa,
pretty
whoa,
much,
whoa, wait, hold on. So wait. So you moved to the UK, free room and board, and oh wait, hold up. So you got free room and board. They pay for everything.
yeah, as far as the housing, they give you a housing allowance,
Yeah.
and you get another set of money from to pay your utilities. I think it's called like post allowance or something like that.
Oh man,
Yeah,
you
it's
winning.
like
You.
cost of living.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got too excited. Tell me about this UK thing, man. Tell me about this UK experience.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe about 7 years ago, got a position, got an opportunity to work in the UK. We moved there probably like about 3 or 4 months later, back in 2014. We were only married for like less than like a year, so we were somewhat newlyweds.
Yeah.
So
Ah, okay.
yeah, so that was great because we used to have a lot of friends, in Maryland.
Yes.
So now we're like, it's just gonna be us two, barely married for less than like 6 or 7 months, moving to another
Absolutely.
country and trying to like,
Yeah.
begin our lives with no relatives and no friends, in our corner. It's just us. So we just gotta
Right.
make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we go there in 2014, and it was all good. I use my computer science skills to like develop some software for those guys over there,
Let's
and
go.
oh yeah, and it was great. Very life changing as far as like the experience, the people, even down to like actual food. Even
Wow.
though their language is English,
Yes.
we quickly learned that American English is quite different from British English. So, for example, something that may mean something in America, they could use that same word and it can mean something totally different in the UK.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but anyway, so yeah, so we had a blast. Got to see London, Scotland, a couple of like went to a couple of trips around Europe, like Italy and
Paris.
Paris.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um,
So is the currency it what well I know the currency is different there,
hmm?
but as you were paid from the DOD, did they pay you in the dollar, or did they pay you in the currency where you were at, in the location you are, and you had to convert it? Like, tell me a little bit about that experience.
Oh, absolutely. So they will still continue to pay you in U.S. dollars.
Okay.
You would get the same solid paycheck. For us it was every 2 weeks. The only difference is when it came time to put money in like a British bank account, you have to go off their conversion rate. So at the time, I want to say the British pound, it was actually expensive back then when we first moved there. I want to say one British pound was equivalent like to $1.72 or something like that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was almost $2.
yeah, it
Then.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. So
Wow.
but I mean, it wasn't too big of a deal because, like I said, if you have like the housing and utilities paid for, I mean, it's just a matter of like just trying to make it work while you're in the while you're in country.
Absolutely. So you guys, oh man. So y'all absolutely like debt free. And
Oh
well
yeah.
Oh
not
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Totally.
then from there you guys just taking all your money and you guys paying off all your debt. We know we debt
pretty
free
much.
now,
Yes.
but you guys paying off all your debt. Where did that come from? Like like where did that mindset come from? Like we gonna pay off all our debt? Because most people they have lifestyle inflation as they get more money. Up, I got more money, I could afford a bigger house. I got more money, now I could afford another car. What prompt that for you guys to pay off debt and then focus on maybe having a family later on? We'll travel the world and different things of that nature.
Yeah, it started on my end with my mom actually. My mom, she used to always talk about this guy Dave Ramsey.
Oh,
And
Dave.
yes, yes. And one of the things that she said that she liked about him is he kind of he kind of used the practicalities of the Bible in with finances. And at the time I didn't think anything of it, but I had went on a tour another tour overseas, and same. This is before we got married. I wasn't paying any rent or anything, so I was using like 95% of my check to pay off all my debts and everything, cars, credit cards, student loans, everything. And my mom, I told her, you know, because over there you're really, really isolated. You don't want to go in too many places, so you're really, really isolated, and so you have no other choice to like either you know, waste your time over there or use that time to like really, really develop yourself. And so I used to always contact my mom, and I would tell her, you know, send me inspirational books. And one of the inspirational books she sent me was The Total Money Makeover.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I started reading that. And the problem was, you know, back when I was in debt, you know, our mentality growing up was, okay, if you pay off debt, what else? You know, everybody got debt, you know, but he kind of taught it from a different perspective. Like, you can live life, you can do what you want to do, you know, it, and then you can change your family. Certain struggles that people that don't have their finances together, that you won't have to, you know, experience yourself, you know. And so after reading that book, it like totally changed my life. And then I just started 95% of my check, it was just going towards you know, paying off debt.
I promise you that Dave Ramsey, the Total Money Makeover, that was the book that changed, that gave me the transformational mindset, and made me understand, okay, now that I got out of survival mode and I started reading different literature, different things of that nature, that Rich Dad Poor Dad, you know, everybody know about those, the proximity principle and Intelligent Investor, like those books began to change my mind. And the reason why I mentioned the Dave Ramsey is because when I wrote down all my debt and my wife's debt, the first thing I paid off first was I started paying off you know how you get a cell phone and you finance it. And I didn't realize that, well, I knew I was financing it, but I didn't realize the debt that I was putting myself in as it relates to just a phone. You know, paying $1,200 for a phone that's only good for what the lifespan of those phones is almost what 6 months to a year. Then they're coming out with a newer one, and you're constantly in this loop where you're like, oh, I'm gonna get the new one. You trade it in, now you starting back over. So I digress. But that's a great call out. So you guys are paying off a debt aggressively. You didn't touch on how you guys met. Did y'all meet? Did you guys meet when you first got hired? You know, did y'all meet on the website? Did y'all meet on Facebook? Like what? like how did you guys meet? You know,
Meet.com.
Yeah,
no, I'm
right.
just kidding.
Absolutely. Nurse Unite.
So, yeah, we were a part of a email list, and on the email list, he said, like, yeah, he works on my floor. And for some odd reason, I thought he was someone else. And this guy had like super long dreadlocks because, you know, it wasn't many people that looked like us. And the only other black guy I saw on the floor, I'm like, oh, that's him, the dude with the dreadlocks. Yeah. And so I finally met him face to face, and he didn't have dreadlocks. He totally different person. Yeah. I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't know you. And then he kind of got short with me. He was like, I don't know you either. So, yeah. And then after that, you know, we always saw each other around and everything. And then what happened was when we were in grad school, we took some of the same classes. And so I used to always, when it came to like those algorithms and machine learning stuff like that, like he was a man with that. And so I used to always cheat off his homework. Well, not cheat, but get help with his homework.
Get help.
Yeah, and then eventually it's like, oh man, yeah, he's pretty cool people. And so we used to all hang out. It was me, him, and a couple of our friends, and yeah, we were like really, really good friends. Like people used to ask, like, yeah, you and Carprece got something going on. I'm like, no, that's like my brother. What are you talking about?
You know what? That's what I was gonna ask. Like, how does that look like when you guys are fraternizing being a part of the DOD, does, like, is it frowned upon? Did you guys have to be discreet? You know, how did that work? How
Yeah,
long did you hide it?
yeah, at work, we really like we'll have a conversation coming and going, but like most of the time when we hung out, it was outside of work.
Ah, okay, okay.
But there's a lot of people that, got married to other, DOD people.
Yeah,
Oh,
a lot
okay.
of them would meet at the DOD as friends, and then they'll eventually blossom into like boyfriend and girlfriend, eventually
Yeah,
husband and wife.
Yeah.
absolutely. So you guys married, you're traveling the world, y'all living a life, then you decide we're gonna bet on ourselves, we're gonna start a business. Where did that come from? Like
Ooh.
what happened? You know what you said, you know what, we're gonna bet on ourselves. We didn't travel, we are debt free, we have our family. What's next? What can we do next? Like what happened? How did that conversation even come up with each other? Like, I want to start a business and I'm gonna start a business. Who I don't want to say I don't want no friction between y'all, but it sounds
Oh,
like
not at all.
Caprice is the best programmer there. I don't know for sure.
No,
No, see, all right,
no,
see,
no. Yeah, a lot of
oh, you
times,
don't.
even now with the business stuff, it'll be something interesting like, sweetie, you're about to write an infinite for loop.
Oh,
So,
geez.
so, so
yeah,
is that how it happened? Like one day you're just out and say, you know what, we're gonna bet on ourselves. Let's start a business. Tell me the exception of that idea of you guys betting on yourself.
Yeah, so from my perspective, it was a guy that I used to listen to. His name is Boyce Watkins. I actually still listen to him from time to time.
Doctor.
Yes, Dr. Boyce Watkins. Yeah, and I remember like it just had like this feeling of like not completely feeling fulfilled.
Hmm.
Even though I had like all of this going on. This is actually while we were in the UK, so you get free rent, free tuition, not for tuition. Oh God, thinking about school, free rent, free utilities.
Hmm.
You know, I had to go to work with 8 hours. I had to go to work 8 hours a day with people that I didn't feel were for me. But it's like I kept asking myself, do I really want this to be my life for the next 30 years?
Mm.
Because I know people used to always tell me, you should not complain because you're making top dollar. Well, it's like, well, yeah, but I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel happy. Every time I was
Mm.
going to this job for 8 hours a day, dealing with these same people, that I felt like wasn't for me.
Right.
So I'm like, there's got to be some kind of way that I can well, how do I feel fulfilled? Like this can't be it.
Hmm.
Going from country to country to country, for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, this can't be, this can't be life.
Right.
It seemed like I was always in a hurry to get out the door to work so I could really feel, fulfilled, with my wife and, traveling, Europe and like all across the UK. So then we started listening to this brother named Boyce Watkins who provided solutions. And one thing he said was like, okay, one of the things we need to start doing is learn how to produce.
Mm.
On how to start our own businesses, being legal, right?
Hmm.
With those businesses. So I
Hmm.
was like, okay, let's try it out, right?
Hmm.
And then as we were like, butting our heads together, coming up with ways to like get our business going,
Hmm.
I actually started to feel more fulfilled, right? And then I said to myself, okay, well, what if I can, what if we can like make, some money off of this, right? That could sustain us and this business
Yeah.
while still having that feeling of fulfillment, right?
Hmm.
And it's been one of those things where it's like, yeah, I could literally do this to the day I die. Not like,
Nice.
as opposed to going to a job, 40 hours a week, working for the next 30 years. And then the only thing they say is, okay, congratulations, we're going to give you a cake party and, you get your, goodbyes and then you just die, right?
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, you can put it you put it straight out there. Like, hey, you get you a cake party. All right, then we'll hire somebody else for that seat. Man, great call out. Great call out. Dr. Boykins. I mean Boykins. Dr. Boyce Watkins.
That's funny.
Hey, yo, I don't know if you guys remember. I'm not as sharp in the evening. I'm
Oh,
Oh,
more.
that's
no worries. No
no
worries.
problem at all.
My 5 a.m. start. I start at 5 a.m. as the day taper off into the evening, you're gonna get that, you gonna get them kind of Maurice. so so you guys touched on some important people there. Like Tasha said, the Dave Ramseys. You actually touched on Dr. Boyce Watkins there, and as you guys begin to build your business and actually market yourself and brand yourself out there, uh, how is it as business partners? Because I know it's tough, and the reason why I asked that is I'll give an example here. My wife and I, we actually have two different e-commerce business because we couldn't really decide. I wanted to support my wife, but I had a bigger vision because I want to make sure that she is completely hands off. However, with my wife, she wants to be hands on. So, I decided to do an e-commerce business selling drones. She actually did an e-commerce business doing like hair and all that, all the stuff women do. So
Yeah.
as business partners, sometimes we sit down and as we do TIG legacy and we start thinking about our legacy of our family, we are sitting there and we're it's healthy dialogue, but at the same time, she has a vision, I have a vision. She has her purpose, I have my purpose, and of how and where we want to go. Because the most important piece is, our ceiling is our kids' floor for the next generation. So,
Right.
as you begin to have those ideas and different things of that nature, how do you guys how do you guys work things out as business partners? Is it more like, hey Tasha, I need you to put on your business hat, or hey Tasha, I need you to put on your wife hat, or hey Tasha, I need you to put on your friend hat. How do you guys have that dialogue, Caprice, Tasha?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know with me, we kind of like have. I think it's a very healthy dialogue, honestly.
Nice.
And it's one of those things where like we kind of like put our heads together and we kind of like figure out, okay, how to approach a certain problem, whether it's like, developing a piece of software or, trying to figure out, okay, what things should we do from a legal standpoint.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, I don't think we have a lot of arguments about the business because one
Yeah,
thing I will say, we kind of generally on the same page with a lot of things.
absolutely.
So it's one of those things where we kind of like, kind of, like I said before, we use our two brains together and try to like figure out the best way forward. And then we kind of, hash through like the advantages or disadvantages of, each other's approach.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then also we kind of cater to each other's strengths.
Yep.
Like he's like more the don't deal with outside human persons. I'm more of I still don't deal with outside human persons, but I know how to fake it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then he's like the business guy. Like he's good with making sure the contractors are paid for and making sure
Nice.
the invoices and everything are sent through. Me, on the other hand, that drives me. I'll forget, And then also like he's real strong in like your back end stuff, your server side programming, and me, I'm stronger in like your front,
Stuff,
more your client side programming as far as like your client app development or your client web page on the front end. So what we try to do is just we'll kind of like put the puzzle pieces together wherever we're strongest at.
Another
Absolutely.
thing too, you're also really good at the dealing with the customer as far as getting the requirements. Like you more, pay a lot of attention to detail. You're able to convert it into, I guess, my language, for example. So, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, and I think that's what she was saying before, where we like kind of combine our strengths to like try to, really, really get this business,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I think
Nice.
we also have one end goal, and that's what kind of helps us too. It's like we both kind of dream together. It's like, you do your part, I do my part, and then we bring it together, and we realize that what we're trying to build now is bigger than us. Like to give you a story, I went to a business event and I met a young kid. A young guy. He was fresh out of college, and he was he had his own private equity firm. And I asked him, I'm like, how did you get into this? And he said, it was natural to me. My father was one, he had his own firm. So it was just natural that I walked into it. And so we're just in the process of, trying to give our little one more choices. Cause especially as a man, the worst position that you can be in is you can't feed your family because somebody else didn't hand you a job. And so when we look at something like that, it's bigger than both of us. So we both have to put ourselves aside and come together for a common goal.
That's powerful. That's powerful what you guys are doing there and setting him up for success in the future. You touched on something there, Tasha and Carprece, a bit as well. Family, the guy said it came naturally. Are your family entrepreneurs? Like, was your family was you bit by the entrepreneur bug by yourself? Like, or do you come from a line of entrepreneurs? Like, tell me a little bit about the background.
So in my case, no. My mom, she's a teacher, and my dad was a police officer. Now he's retired. So it was one of those things where I had to learn that for myself, along with the help from my wife, as far as like, okay, how do we build a legacy for our future kids, now kid, right? And how do we try to like make that legacy not only just for our kid, but maybe for his kids,
right?
Our children, our grandchildren, 10 times over. Right. And that's one of the things, that kind of made me like the idea of entrepreneurship. And I do understand, like, people, have to work because you got to get income somehow. But one of the things I would stress is like, make that temporary if you can, to try to get that path forward to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like I was saying before, I don't think, it's kind of hard to pass a legacy down for something that's not yours, right? So if you work somewhere for like, 30 plus years, like I said, you just, okay, thank you for your service there.
Right.
Right. So
get your cake party. I love it. I'm gonna borrow that.
It's nice little 30-year pin.
Yes.
Get your cake party. Yeah.
Right.
Hat cake with a brain,
Yeah. And me, on the other hand, I haven't, the same thing with like my immediate family. Like, I didn't come from like, it's like everybody always had their side hustles, but they never made those side hustles to, the full-time business, like my immediate family, like my mom, aunts, my grandmother, dad. I remember my dad, he would work all day, come home for like 5 hours, and then go right back out to work, but no one never started a business full time. And me, I just, as I got older, and then also listening to people like your Boyce Watkinses and everything, it's like, yeah, that's how you can like kind of take more control of your life. Don't get me wrong, y'all. You have, the customer to answer to, but you have plenty of customers as opposed to that one customer, aka your supervisor, who you have to answer to. And they can determine if you get more money to feed your family. They can determine if you'll have a job to feed your family. And I think having that skill set of making work, aka entrepreneur, that kind of puts you at a freer position. Like, say for instance, now, I'm doing the I'm doing the business, full time now.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best things ever, to actually sit down and do what I love, as opposed to, having to go somewhere and kind of play in the shadows, not having as many choices, like there's some days where we have other things going on. I don't have to ask anyone, oh, can I please take off? And then, the whole politics.
Yeah. It's powerful. It's powerful what you guys are doing. It's so much stuff there that you guys just stated in the last 5 minutes. I mean, the dialogue has been incredible. But the last portion here that really resonates with me is going back to what you said. You can't pass something down that you don't own, Carprece said. And the most important piece is ownership. Like Tasha is giving those examples of, if you don't have ownership, you're going to work till you die. I forgot who said it, but someone said that if you don't figure out how to make money while you sleep, you're going to work till you die. And the reason why I'm so adamant about that is because um, what our earned income, a lot of people don't understand what your earned income is, where you start to make that transition or start to bet on yourself. Because most of the times, black and brown people, we can't afford the SBA. Well, I don't want to say we can't afford. It's harder for us to get SBA loans, different things of that nature. We are taught to bootstrap and different things of that nature. But when you actually debt free and you get out of survival mode, it's mission critical for you to start thinking about that next generation. And like you said, your legacy. So for TIG legacy in general, the legacy part stands for leave each generation ahead of coming years. So that's the acronym that we use. But like Caprice said, that generational wealth, like he said, tenfold, he want everyone to be successful because that ownership is mission critical. Now, you guys had earned income from your DOD jobs. Then from there, for me, I actually had to find another way to make passive income. So for me and my wife, that's why we actually have those e-commerce business to what actually generates things while we sleep and different things on it. So we don't have to put a lot of time into it. Like it goes back to what you guys are saying as it relates to, I don't have to answer to one, anything of that nature. So if I don't want to go to work this week, it gives me the opportunity to have some time where I can be present with my, you know, my with my children and you guys' child there. But the reason why I'm getting there is portfolio. I know you guys are starting to build your portfolio, different things of that nature. Like what do you guys want to invest in outside of your business? You know, are you guys just 100% involved in a business? So any extra money goes right back into the business, recycle, or do you take the money or you invest in crypto, or do you guys invest in stocks? Do you guys invest in real estate? You know, tell me a little bit about that. Is it more so we take the extra money and we invest in 529 plans? We put no money away, money for college, you know, or our HSA account, you know, are we putting money, you know, away for retirement or whatever it may be, self-directed IRAs? Tell us a little bit about, you know, what you guys have going. And the reason why I'm asking is because I just put out a video and I described why poor and middle class people pay taxes and rich people pay accountants and wealthy people pay politicians. so 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 I put a video out describing that, and it sounds like you guys understand money, and it goes back to, like you said, your money and understand finances came from Dave Ramsey a bit, and yours came from Dr. Boykins there. I don't know why I keep saying Boykins, man. I don't know why. I'm putting both of them together. Y'all notice that? Dr. Boy. So with that being said, tell us a little bit about, at least for me, when I got out of survival mode, I started to think of ways. Okay, now I got some extra money where I can try to generate passive income. From there, I start reinvesting the money from the passive income into a portfolio, and now we actually have like a well-rounded type, built-in generational wealth type thing. I feel like me personally, I feel like in 32 months, 32 to 36 months, we'll be multimillionaires coming from, you know, just working different things in that nature. But yeah, tell me a little bit about how you guys reinvest your funds or different things of that nature without going into, you know, the details overall.
Like our balance is
Yeah, right.
it started with another book that we read, you know, God rest Devin Soul, one of our friends who passed. He had posted a book onto his Facebook, and he said, finally a book that I can read about finances where I don't have to live like a peasant, something silly.
Yeah.
And so we ended up getting that book. It was I think it was The Millionaire Teacher. And the whole objective of this book was index funds. And that's when he kind of broke it down. He was saying it's less risk as opposed to a single stock, because you're covering basically the entire stock market. And so all the extra, after we had paid off all of our debts and everything, all the extra money that we were getting, we just started storing it in index funds, you know. And like a lot of people were taking like 5-star vacations and first class flights every month and stuff like that. Yeah, we did that too, but we also not every month or so. But So we kind of limited our vacations to a couple of times a year. And then all the extra money that we had, we just start storing it, put it into, index funds, and then, mutual funds. And then like single stocks, we started doing that, but that was just with like play money, because we still had a lot of money coming in even after putting money in retirement, after putting money in index funds. And so what I would do with that extra money, I would be on like Macy's.com, and I'm just like, why am I giving Macy all of my money when I can buy Macy? And so that little $30, $50 extra, we had left over, we was just putting that in the single stocks, just so when we see Jim Cramer, we can understand what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so that was the main thing. Like, we just really focused on mutual funds, and then as far as real estate, we're still working on that part of it.
Yep,
we're not quite there, but
diversify yourself there. Okay. Whoa, man. Look, everyone's path to financial independence is different, and it sounds like you guys reached it at an early age in life. You guys waited to have a child or children in the future as well, and then you guys really focus on the important things. Like I could imagine sitting down at the age of 25 and say, hey, we are going to focus on our debt. We're not going to do any trips. I know you want the finer things in life, but let's focus on this, and this. This is refreshing to hear, someone that's you guys are, we're all still young here. And what I'm getting to is you guys traveled a lot. You guys lived in the UK for what, 4 to 5 years. Came back here in the States and been living in several different places, I could imagine as well. You guys have settled down. You guys are financially free. You guys have a business. I guess I want to ask you this before, we wrap things up here. What has been your biggest success? Do you guys both have the same views on what your biggest success is, or is it different as it relates to life? What has been your biggest success up until this point?
I'll let you go first.
Oh yeah, it's deep right there. I would say my biggest success in life is not the fact that I worked in the UK and was doing a good job there along with my wife as well. I would say my biggest success in the life is having our first kid, who was actually born in the UK. And
what?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. But hold on. Before you continue with your biggest success there, how does that work with his citizenship? Do we got dual citizenship, or is it just?
No, that was a very, 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 very interesting process. So what we had to do was after he was born, around the August time frame, I had to get his British birth certificate along with like a bunch of other documents, and ship it off to the embassy for them to actually give him like a American birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called like a council report of a birth abroad. That's basically his birth certificate saying that he was born outside the U.S., but he's still a U.S. citizen. Yeah, we had to do that, and then I remember on my birthday actually having to race down to the office to actually turn all that paperwork in like a week later, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so but that's how that goes. But my biggest success, I would say, is the fact that we were able to put like money aside, and we got an ESA account for him before he even existed, right?
Wow.
We was doing single stocks that was earmarked for him.
Wow.
Had, like some money in it. So that was actually my biggest success. So before he even existed, he probably doesn't even know this yet. 3 years later, that there's already money that's working for him already. While he's on this earth.
That's dope. That's dope. Wow. Tasha, do you got the same views as well?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, definitely. First, definitely the little one, that's just a blessing that we can have somebody, in this world that can carry on, our legacy.
Yeah.
It's just a gift from God. And then also, my biggest success, I guess, is, just like really, really trying to, stay focused on God, because it's just like, the type of life that we live, we young engineers living in DC, Maryland area, good Lord, there's so many different avenues that you can go down. But, me, I really, really stayed true to myself. I'm still, silly Tasha from high school and everything. But I still take care of my business, and I still trust in God in the process. And then also marrying the right person.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah, like literally, I remember, because back before we even got together, when you see marriages on TV, you assume like everything's supposed to be, all serious and pay the bills and all that stuff. I didn't realize. I'm like, yeah, we too silly.
Yeah, right.
And the fact that I actually listened to God, because before we even got together, it's like I felt like God was telling me, like, you need to take care of him, not take care of him like a mother takes care of her child, but like a wife takes care of her husband. And I didn't realize that at the time, but God was telling me, this is my husband. And then he showed me so many more ways that, this is your husband, listen to me. And that was a success that, I actually listened to God on that, because like literally it changed like our entire life from, emotional stability. You see Real Housewives on TV, and if you don't know, oh yeah, that's how marriage supposed to be. No, our drama is he watches House Hunters without me. Or no, you don't bring me nothing back. But yeah, just really easy in life, and going towards the same goal, which changed our life and also helped out with our finances, because I listened to God sending me to the right person, and it's been paying dividends ever since, going on 8 years marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice, healthy marriage, nice financially, emotionally stable, and just thriving in life. I love it. I love how you brought everything full circle and let everyone know how, even though you make those sound decisions yourself, but God's hands have been on, you guys' life as you guys matriculated throughout your different, travel experiences and finances. I like how you wrapped everything up. Hey, before we wrap up here, I know I said that was my last question. What was your biggest success? However, I want to visit some key books. You guys actually stated one of them was the Dave Ramsey Total Makeover. The second one was the Millionaire Teacher, and that one teaches you about index funds. I never heard of that one. Did I get that one right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The Millionaire Teacher, that one is pretty much on index funds there. And then Caprice casually threw it out there like, yeah, we already got a portfolio for our son. He don't even know. That been working about 3 or 5 years. That money just been working for him. We don't take no money out. We just reinvest that money. So, I get it. I get it. Caprice, he was real cool about it too. I love it. Before we go, I know you guys probably not allowed to have friends, with strangers. And the reason why I say that is because I used to, work as a BA for the Wright Pat Air Force Base, and they used to always give us these trainings on people being friends with us and different things of that nature. It's scary, when people try to get you guys credentials and different things of that nature. But what I'm getting at is, if someone wants to have a conversation with you guys around financial literacy, or discuss your guys' success, or discuss, how you were able to pay off so much debt. It's so many questions that may come from whoever's watching this interview here. How do you want guys to reach you? Is it more so the business email? Do you want them to, leverage you guys through that way? Do you want them to leverage you through social media, LinkedIn, Facebook? What does it look like?
Oh yeah, we got a couple of different avenues. We're on Facebook. We're most active on Facebook. We're always sharing things that help people with their finances and help them, with inspiration and everything.
Nice.
Cyber Solutions, and that's basically our last name spelled backwards. S as in Sam, IVER Solutions LLC. and we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we have a LinkedIn account, and then also Cyber Solutions LLC.info. That's our most up-to-date website.
Okay, and it's all one word, cybersolutionsllc.com.
Yep.
Oh, .info.
Yep. .info.
.info. I missed that. I'm sorry. Hey, look, y'all, it's late.
Oh, no worries. No
No
worries.
problem at all.
Yeah, and then if anyone wants to talk to us about that, and then also we develop apps. We have 6 apps that are currently on the market now, and we develop websites. We're very, very knowledgeable about that. We've been in the business programming for 26 plus years combined.
Yeah.
And so we do like mobile applications and websites and standalone software applications for, various businesses or small businesses, large businesses, and everything. And through those avenues, the different social medias and our websites. So if people want apps done, or if they want websites done, or if they have standalone applications that they want done, they could just shoot us a line, and we're very, very prompt. We're getting
Absolutely. Great call out. And I'll make sure that I get this the contact information in description. That way everyone can have access to it. I'll put the website information on there. And when they go to the website, I'm pretty sure it's a blurb somewhere or an icon that says contact us, and they'll be able to contact you through the website as well, correct?
Yep. Yes. When they click on contact us, the email, it will automatically shoot to us.
Absolutely. Okay. Any last minute things you guys want to throw out there? Tasha was very thorough in explaining, like, hey, this is what we do. We do websites, we do mobile. She made sure she got that information out there. Any last minute things you guys want to, close on, different things of that nature?
It just inspiration wise, a lot of times, we have in our culture shooting at us, people who look like us can't make it, people who look like us, are just good for whatever the stereotype is. And then I want your users to know, through us, you see what God has done in our business, and what God has done in our lives, so I want you to let your users know, don't let this culture, don't let society tell you what you can and cannot do. I'm, born very humble beginnings, not in the best neighborhoods and everything. And look at me, I'm a software engineer and part ownership of an IT company.
Absolutely. Great call out. Carprece, or you going with the wife?
Absolutely. I echo everything she said. Don't let society dictate, your destiny. I remember back in high school, I went to a very, very rural high school, out in the country, and the school overall, it wasn't, it didn't show like progress, right? It didn't show success because a lot of the students wasn't, scoring test scores up to par. So I remember I had a kind of a no-nonsense geography teacher, right? One of the things she always say is that, don't let the fact that you come from a small county with limited resources, dictate your destiny, because society doesn't care, right? And that's one of the things that, that's the reason why I echo what she's saying, because, I mean, yeah, we're Black, but at the same time, God put us here for a reason. Mm-hmm. And I believe that reason is to, show up and show out, right?
Absolutely.
It's one of those things where, hard work does pay off, right? Mm-hmm. You just gotta, keep pushing yourself forward and don't let nobody tell you otherwise.
Absolutely. Great call outs. Oh, that was so powerful. It's right on time too. My wife calling. With that being said, man, this has been a very thorough interview. This is the first one outside of a few financial videos that I have done that covers everything. It covers how you guys went to college, how you guys come from humble beginnings, how you guys traveled, how you guys are setting the next generation up for success. You guys cover so much. I'm pretty sure it's going to bring a lot of value to individuals here. I'll make sure I get that information in the description as it relates to the different vehicles or vessels people can reach out to you. But again, I really appreciate your time. You guys stay safe, stay healthy. I'm pretty sure I'll be in contact with you. But yeah, y'all stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again here on the next upload.
All
All
right.
right,
Thanks a
same
lot.
here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
No problem.